we study history. This is the class. If you are ready, show by hands. Today we are looking at Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Jean-Jacques. That's the French pronunciation. Now, if you want to pronounce it in English, we say Jean-Jacques Dessalines. And Jean-Jacques is spelled J-E-A-N for Jean. That's John. Jean. Jacques is J-A-C-Q-U-E-S, and it's a hyphenated name. In other words, it's a compound name. Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Dessalines is spelled D-E-S-S-A-L-I-N-E-S. Today we are talking about this great black man. Jean-Jacques Dessalines is our guest writer in the African history class. In fact, interesting things are about to happen. My brother, my sister, he was born on the 20th day of September, the month of my birth, in 1758. And my brother, my sister, he was not born in Africa. He was born in Saint Dominique. Saint Dominique. Oh my God. Now, Saint Dominique was a French colony in the western portion of the Caribbean island of Hispaniola, in the area of modern-day Haiti, from 1659 all the way to 1804. Now, the name derived from the Spanish main city on the island. Actually had some Spanish people ruling over the country and taking over the reins of the country from that period, oh my God, until Haiti finally had its independence. This is the man we are talking about, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Now, Jean-Jacques was born in Saint Dominique, around Haiti today. And he originally was coming from the African country of Benin, Dahomey, the home of the snake. He was a very powerful man. In fact, he was a leader of the Haitian Revolution and the first ruler of an independent Haiti under the 1805 Constitution. In other words, he became the first president of Haiti. And if you want to go more indigenous, he became the first emperor of Haiti. My brother, my sister, he was a leader of the Haitian Revolution, and he became the first emperor of the independent Haiti after they chased out the Spanish and the French and all those people who had been there. My brother, my sister, he initially was regarded as the governor general. Dessalines was later named emperor of Haiti as Jacques the First. Oh my God. From 1804 all the way to 1806, for 2 solid years, he was the governor, and he was put there by his generals. How did he become this? This is the story I'm telling you today. Now, he was born on a plantation in Saint Dominique. His father was enslaved. In fact, and his father had adopted the name of his slave master by name Henry Duclos. Now, the interesting thing about our hero for today was that as he was growing up on the plantation, all he was thinking about was freedom. He started thinking about why some people are white and some people are black. And he realized that all the people who were black that he was growing up seeing were slaves. And all those who were white, not necessarily smart, were those who ruled. And he started asking questions. In fact, they realized that on the plantation, he was asking too many questions. And some of these questions, only the old slaves were able to answer. So he loved to stay around the old slaves who told him a lot of stories about Africa and how powerful the African continent was, and how Africans use juju and all that to be able to do a lot of things. And he continued to question them. Why is it that we are not using that juju anymore to escape from slavery? And this question, oh my God, lingered on and on and on and on. Jean-Jacques Dessalines started working in the sugarcane fields as a laborer. He rose to the rank of commander or foreman. And he worked on Duclos plantation, his slave master's plantation, until he was about 30 years old. And still enslaved, Jean-Jacques was bought by another man with the last name Dessalines. So his name changed from Duclos to Dessalines. In those days, slaves had no name. Whoever owned them gave them their names, and that was the name they carried. It was almost like a mark. Once you mentioned your name, they knew who your master was. So the new master who bought him from the age of 30 was called Dessalines, and he took him on. But interestingly, Dessalines was black. Dessalines was a free black man. He used to be a slave. He bought his own freedom. And he was also engaged in slave trade. Can you believe this? He was a black man, and he also picked up another black man as a slave and gave him his name, Dessalines. And that Dessalines was a name he also inherited from his slave master. So slave names passed on and on and on and on and on and on and on. That is why we say today, if you are called John, Jonathan, and all those names, you know that you are carrying the names of slaves, slave traders. My brother, my sister. He was called Dessalines, but he decided to name himself Jean-Jacques. So he added Dessalines to it. My brother, my sister, he worked very hard in the sugarcane plantations. Very, very hard. My brother, my sister, now he asked his slave master how he'll be able to buy his own freedom. And his slave master was so happy. Dessalines told him, I was once a slave. I worked very hard to achieve this. You can also do this. And he worked so hard and was able to buy his own freedom. He worked for his master for how many years? 3 years. And then he bought his own freedom. So by the age of 34, he was already a free man walking around Haiti. Oh my God. But he had a certificate to show that he was a free man. Today we are talking about Jean-Jacques Dessalines. And we have told you how he came by his name. Originally from Benin, Dahomey, to be very specific. Oh my God. Which means the house of the snake. Now in 1791, there was a slave uprising. And our hero was quick to join because he hated to see black people suffer. He joined the slave rebellion. Oh my God. And it became the biggest slave rebellion in history. Today I'm going to tell you more about this. They fought on and on and on and on, fighting. In the slave plantations, I'm talking about the sugarcane plantations, all the slaves of African origin stood up and they fought. So many people died. Mortality was very, very high. My brother, my sister, but they continued to fight. The French were fighting. The Africans who were enslaved were also fighting. Both freedmen and slaves continued to fight for the freedom of the slaves. Dessalines received his early military training from a woman whose name was either Victoria Montu or Akbaraya Toya. That was the woman who taught him his first military tactics. And he used this military tactics in the slavery rebellion, also training more black people to be able to fight for their own freedom. He fought and fought and fought. And this was in 1791. Along with thousands of other enslaved people, Jean-Jacques Dessalines joined the slave rebellion to the northern plains led by Jean-François Papillon. And Papillon means butterfly in French. But that's the name of another black man. And Georges Biassou. And Biassou is an African name. It's a name from Dahomey originally. So these were the commanders of the army. They fought, thousands of them. and they killed a lot of the enslavers. I hate to call them slave masters, my brother, my sister, and that was what happened. The Haitian Revolution was on. Dessalines became a lieutenant in Papillon's army and followed him to Santo Domingo, occupying the eastern half of the island, where he enlisted to serve Spain's military forces against the French colony of Saint Dominique. So Spain had come in to support the black people to fight against the French. You see how it was. And that was what it was. They fought on and killed a lot of people. Now in that period, Dessalines met the rising military commander, Toussaint Breda, who later was known as Toussaint Louverture. And we have told the story of Toussaint Louverture. When you talk about the Haitian Revolution, there's no way you can start it and end it without talking about Toussaint Louverture. He was the main man in the uprising. But remember, his other generals included the person we're talking about today, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Oh my God, fire for fire. A lot of white people were slaughtered. Hi! The revolution became the biggest ever in the history of slave rebellion. Remember, the revolution started in 1791. 2.5 years later, in 1794. Oh my God. The French could not take the fire anymore. They decided to surrender and declared Haiti independent. And Haiti became very, very independent. Toussaint Louverture switched allegiances to the French right after the revolution because his master was so kind to him, and the master was French. In fact, he was able to work for his master to escape back to France when they were killing all the white people on the sugar plantation. Do you understand? He was able to free his master and ask him to flee, and he fled back to France. My brother, my sister, Toussaint Louverture also fought seriously and was the leader of this revolution. And our hero for today, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, became the first emperor. Oh my God, first emperor of the independent Haiti. His training as a guerrilla fighter in the military helped him a lot. He trained a lot of other people, and in 1801, Dessalines quickly ended an insurrection in the north led by Louverture's nephew, General Moise. Dessalines gained a reputation for his take no prisoners policy and for burning the homes and entire villages to the ground. He didn't like prisoners. He would not carry any prisoner. Kill all prisoners. Burn all their houses. Oh my God. Lord God have mercy. That was the first time that statement was used. Take no prisoner. So when we hear a man speak English and he says, I don't take no prisoner, you know what that means? It means he will not leave the work undone. He will finish it up and nothing will be left undone. Our hero for today, right after this slave revolt and Haiti became independent, having driven away the French on the 1st of January 1804 from the city of Ganueve. Dessalines officially declared the former colonies independent and renamed it Haiti. Haiti, A-Y-I-T-I. So he was the one who named Haiti Haiti. Haiti. So the indigenous Haitians called the place Haiti. I made a song about Haiti and I'm going to be playing it later in the show so that you will get to hear that song that I'm talking about, Haiti. Haiti, Haiti. Oh my God. So the original name of Haiti is Haiti. A-Y-I-T-I. Haiti. But some people say Haiti, Haiti. You know? And we will tell you that history too in that song. Just open your ear. You know, Blakk Rasta likes to talk history. So he became the first emperor of Haiti. And he renamed the place Haiti. Oh my God, have mercy. And It's that the name Haiti actually comes from the indigenous Taino name. Taino is spelled T-A-I-N-O. Now, the Taino were a historic indigenous people of the Caribbean whose culture had been continued today by the Taino descendants, most of who came from Africa. In fact, all of them came from Africa. This is the African History Class. Today, my brother, my sister, we are talking about the great Jean-Jacques Dessalines. What a powerful man. He was able to help bring independence to his people. At the same time, he was able to end slavery. Oh my God, right there in Haiti. In fact, he named it, it used to be called L'Hispaniola, as you will hear in the music later in the show. My brother, my sister, today we're talking about Haiti. And we're talking about Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Slavery was totally abolished and independence came. Our hero reigned for 2 solid years. After which, my brother, my sister, there was a huge massacre. And this massacre went on and on, killing a number of people. Inner wranglings and disagreements. Oh, now there were some members of the revolution who were not too satisfied with 1 or 2 things, and they were those who went ahead to fight. They conspired to overthrow the emperor Dessalines, who was assassinated north of the capital city, Port-au-Prince, which still remains the capital of Haiti. My brother, my sister, at Larnage, now known as Port Rouge, that's the Red Port, on the 17th of October, 1806. That was when he died. Today we remember you. We remember you, Papa. When he was assassinated, his body was dismembered and mutilated. In fact, some of the soldiers did not like him. Some of the soldiers had so much bickering. They were divided on so many fronts. And after 2 years of being emperor, he was assassinated and his body dismembered. His body was picked up by Marie Saint de Basile and buried in the interior cemetery of the church of Saint Anne. And a tomb was raised by Etienne Guerin's wife with the inscription on the tomb, "He died at the age of 48. Here lies Dessalines. He died at the age of 48. His body was later moved to Hôtel de la Patrie, that's the altar of the fatherland, in Champ-de-Mars, alongside Alexandre Pétion's body. My brother, my sister, these were all great soldiers in the revolution. He was killed by his own people, dismembered and thrown away. His body was scattered but picked up and buried in the church and then reburied elsewhere. Today we remember you, Papa. Papa, we remember you. Papa, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Jean-Jacques Dessalines. D'abord, Dieu, Papa. Papa, Uninyaminko. Papa. Papa, Uninyaminko. Papa, Miss Uninyaminko. Au, Papa. Uninyaminko. Uninyaminko. Uninyaminko, Papa. Papa. In the burden of knowledge, I ask you, now that you know what we do, how will the story of Jean-Jacques Dessalines impact your own life in present days, in contemporary times? In the burden of knowledge, I ask you, now that you know what we do, be an any lay a mini about Fay Zuda Kagane Mezaka Yene Apabango Bokaya Nang, Fifia Yanu Kaina Wabana in Webeden, Lele Anjima Singer Berry, Lele Anjima Singer Berkone. It's been the African History Class. And of course, my name Blakk Rasta. Today we have been talking about the great Jean-Jacques Dessalines, one of the pioneers. In fact, one of the pioneers of the Haitian Revolution, the man who named Haiti,